Que pasa YouTube? SixftHax here with a Wi-Fi battle, and I know some of you guys are wondering, oh, this is just a little spur of the moment thing. There's not going to be any more battles after this for like another 3 years, but I can 100% promise you guys I will have another Wi-Fi battle up tomorrow. Also should be taking some more battles tonight, hopefully on the day this is going up, because I've kind of got my shit a little bit more together and definitely going to be diving back into the daily uploads. Hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing comes up, nothing goes wrong, and you guys are still going to be around. Thank you if y'all still are here. If you enjoy the video, make sure to hammer arm that thumbs up button down below, guys. Thank you for any and all the support that you can give me. So this was a UU battle I got off of my Discord, which is where I'm going to be taking my challenges. I normally do an at here or at everyone for when I'm taking challenges, but this was a UU match. And going into this game, I realized that Crocodile was probably going to be my best lead, because it matched up pretty well against everything that he was possibly going to lead with, which I mainly thought it was going to be the Manectric, Gliscor, or the Klefki, as he actually does end up leading off with the Gliscor. I was hoping that I would be able to knock off the Toxicor, but he does make a really good, not double switch here, but he makes a good play, and then he makes a double switch back into the Gliscor to activate his Toxicor, because he knows I'm not going to stay in on a Klefki with a Crocodile, especially because his Crocodile is actually Choice Scarfed and not like Dread Plate or Black Glasses or whatever Crocodile is running. Actually, yeah, Choice Scarf Crocodile in 2018 is a little bit odd, because I don't think I've used Scarf Crocodile since like late X and Y UU, honestly. But I'm gonna take this chance to get up my rocks. Hopefully rocks are gonna be absolutely amazing in this match. However, though, what's not amazing is that this Heracross's nickname pretty much describes it very well. It just kind of clicks a stab and I have to sack something pretty much here. So I bring up my Moltres because I was positive he wouldn't go for knockoff or the facade, and I don't think they typically carry Stone Edge. So if he did go for the close combat, which made a lot of sense, then I would be able to chew one and then potentially fire off one of my dual stabs, or maybe go for the U-turn, because Latios and Assault Vest Alolan Muck are pretty good answers to Moltres. So I figured that he may want to switch one of those in, especially because it's very early on. There's no reason for him to risk Heracross, considering that he just gets a KO every single time at this point, because he already just smacked my Moltres around. But what is really nice is that if this is not max defense, max HP Gliscor, I get a 2-hit KO or a straight OHKO with Choice Banded Stone Edge, and it turns out that he is a very fizz def bulky Gliscor, which is really annoying because I got so hyped. I was like, yes, something's gonna die to Stone Edge. No, damn it, Gliscor, why you so bulky? It's fine though, because with this most likely being a Stealth Rocker, I'm going to try and take this chance to bring in my Moltres on the potential Stealth Rocks, but he actually ends up going for the Roost, which is a smart play on his part, because he needs to keep this Gliscor at max HP to deal with my Terrakion. However, though, I think he expected me to go for the U-turn again, because the switch into Alolan Muck was pretty obvious, but regardless, even if he had switched it in, I just wanted to get off as much damage as I possibly could on it, because I need to start breaking through his team. I need to weaken his walls for my offensive threats in the back, and the fact that he just let me annihilate this Gliscor means that my Terrakion comes in, and much like his Heracross, I will be destroying something with my dual stabs. So in comes the Manectric here. I don't mind if he does predict me to switch into my Crocodile, considering that Crocodile is honestly my only real switch in to this Manectric. So if he does HP Ice here, the cool thing is that I'm Scarf Crocodile. So this next turn, I can hopefully catch him off guard and knock him out with the Earthquake. At least that's what I was banking on potentially happening. There's always a chance that he's going to try to switch out possibly, but I really don't think he should risk bringing in the Latios, because there is a slight chance I could go for the knockoff still, but he does end up making the Latios play, which was a very good play on his part, as you can tell, obviously, because I went for the Earthquake. Now I'm locked into Earthquake, and there's not really anything I can do against this. Like, I'm forced to switch out. I don't want to predict him to potentially double switch. Even if he does pull a double switch, as he does here, if I had gone for the Earthquake, I'm not going to be doing any damage to this Heracross. So he doubles into the Heracross, catching my Empoleon, and he's really keeping me on my toes here, because all these doubles that he's making is putting me in compromisable positions where I can't do anything that's standing across from me. Like, I have to answer the play that he makes instead of making him answer the plays that I make, and that's kind of putting me on the back foot here, and it's forcing me to sack off things that I could otherwise keep to sack off to something else, or that could potentially help me out later in the match here. So I bring in my Tentacruel. Tentacruel honestly is not really doing anything. He's got Latios, he's got Mega Manectric, he's got this Heracross, so I figured that if I can sack this off, I can potentially get a free switch into my Terrakion or potentially my Moltres. So he actually ends up switching out thinking that I would be faster than him, and then I get really lucky and I get the poison on the Latios. And I'm not gonna lie, this was very, very helpful, because now even if I'm not able to attack this Latios, it's gonna be taking that 12% every single turn from the poison damage. Is it poison damage? It's sludge bomb, and then toxic damage is like actual toxic damage. I always get the two forms mixed up, but he's going to be taking 12% every turn instead of it like doubling like the move Toxic does essentially. So I'm going to make the very obvious switch back into my Empoleon. Didn't mind if he did want to double again here, because with this Latios poison and me having rocks up, it's still going to be taking a lot of chip damage that's going to be very beneficial to me. So I felt pretty comfortable in just bringing in my Empoleon here, and I can just kind of fire off a Scald. He doesn't exactly have anything to safely switch him to Scald. Regardless, whatever switches in is going to be taking a good chunk of damage, and then if I get lucky again, I can potentially burn whatever comes in. I don't burn the Klefki, which is fine because eventually I will be able to beat this, but because Empoleon is well trained, I took him to the mountains, I skillfully dodged the Thunder Wave, and then I burned him with the Scald. And the paralysis miss, the Thunder Wave miss, I don't think really matters, but I think the burn does matter, because he would have been able to possibly live a second Scald, which means he might have been able to get up along with the spikes, maybe light screen or reflect, and that could have been a little bit detrimental. But at this point, the only real thing I needed Empoleon for was for the Latios, and there's no way Latios is breaking through Empoleon in the first place, so that's why I don't think the paralysis miss essentially mattered too much, especially with the Latios being poisoned, because there's no way Latios can 2-hit KO Empoleon with anything, and then eventually Latios would have been knocked out by the 2 turns of Toxic. So, or poison. Yeah, see, look there. I already got them confused. So in comes the Heracross, much like earlier, just gonna sack off Tentacruel, not really doing anything in this match, and maybe he'll still think that I'm faster than him, so that maybe I can sludge bomb whatever he potentially wants to try to switch into this, or he will just stay in and knock me out, which he does stay in and knock me out. And he had told me earlier that he thought I was faster than him because I got my Black Sludge before burn damage, but I'm pretty sure lefties always goes before burn or toxic damage regardless. So I was able to kind of use that to my advantage, which is really nice, as this does allow me to bring in my Moltres here. I really have no drawback in bringing in either Moltres or Terrakion, honestly. Actually, by bringing in Moltres, if I were to then force him into the Manectric, I can sack off my Moltres to the Manectric, so that way I could get switch initiative on him instead of him getting switch initiative on whatever I had in, like, essentially Terrakion. So yeah, because Terrakion could live a hit from Manectric and then he could Volt Switch, but by sacking off my Moltres to the Manectric, I can switch into whatever he decides to Volt Switch in. So unfortunately, I get lucky again and I get the burn with Fire Blast, which really sucks because I don't need my Moltres at this point. I was perfectly fine trading my Moltres to get off any amount of damage on the Muck, because then at that point I could have brought in something else to revenge kill the Muck and just pick up another KO. But he is going to end up bringing in the Manectric here, and he's going to finish me off with the Thunderbolt. This is fine. I still have Terrakion in the back, which resists the Thunderbolt. I also have my Scarf Crocodile, but because he does have the Latios in the back and a knockoff does not finish off Manectric, I'm actually going to end up bringing in my Mega Altarion. This is a really cool Mega Altaria set. It's actually a specially offensive, bulky Mega Altaria. I don't really know if that's what Mega Altaria run nowadays, because it's been a minute since I've played like regular Smogon rules, but I thought this was a pretty cool set, and after Mega Evolving, there's absolutely no way, no chance in hell that Manectric is gonna one-shot my Mega Altaria, so I can just kind of click Hyper Voice, and I essentially just get a kill, unless he had Thunderbolted me and I got fully paralyzed back to back to back, which I would have been fine with considering that I did get a little bit lucky myself in this game. Then there was no other way that he would have been able to stop Mega Altaria from just kind of claiming a life here. As in comes the Latios. Even if he's choice specs, there's no way he one-shots me with a Psyshock or Psychic, and because I'm a Fairy type, I am not affected by Draco Meteor or potentially the Dragon Pulse, as I do chew the Psyshock. Down goes the Latios, and at this point his last mon is going to be the Mega Manectric, which even if he does knock me out, Scarf Crocodile can now safely click Earthquake, which is nice. Or I can bring in Terrakion, and Terrakion can guarantee live any one hit from this Manectric unless he crits me, which I would be perfectly fine with. And that's pretty much going to be the match. So he actually does crit me here. I think this crit definitely did matter, but it's not game changing in the slightest. Like, I think that was perfectly justified on his end, and I am going to bring in my Terrakion here to tank the Thunderbolt and then hopefully knock him out with him choice banded stabbed close combat. So I chew the Thunderbolt here and I will be able to finish him off, and that is going to be the victory in my favor. So I'll leave a paste bin of the team down below. It's not my team, I got it off of Harris's Discord, but I will be making my own teams eventually once I get back into the tiers a little bit more. If you might have skipped the beginning, as I said, I kind of got my stuff together a little bit more. 110% guarantee another Wi-Fi battle going up tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that, guys. If you did enjoy, if you're excited, please hit that thumbs up button down below. Hammer arm that thumbs up button down below. Your support is greatly appreciated. Leave a comment down below. Hopefully y'all have been. Let me know how have you guys been. How have y'all been, man? It's been a minute since I've talked to y'all. I miss y'all. I missed y'all, and just, yeah, thank you guys. Hopefully y'all embrace me back, and we can get things back on the proper trail. We will see though. Thank you guys. Love y'all, and later.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6ft-Hax. 6ft-Hax. Yeah. 6ft-Hax. Yeah. 6ft-Hax.